So the first two stories were kind of intense.
Just prison torture and Nazi eugenics.
Just the Newsgirls usual. So we thought we'd end the episode with something a little lighter. Everyone's favorite, not awful news.
What were you doing?
I was saying not awful news.
So in case you don't know, Mabel and I host a weekly segment for the Good News Network. Comes out every Monday. We do 5 good news stories to get your week started right. So these are a selection of our favorite ones from the past couple months. So this first one we have not stopped thinking about since we first saw it. Japan is launching clinical trials for artificial red blood cells, so fake blood, and that it'll be aimed at addressing the critical blood shortage.
Yeah, so these synthetic red blood cells can be stored at room temperature for up to 2 years. So unlike traditional blood, which has to be refrigerated and has a pretty short shelf life of less than a month.
And like every detail makes the story crazier. The fake blood would be universal, so there'd be no matching blood types, and it would be so perfect for an emergency situation. You might not know someone's blood type.
So Japan recently tested the synthetic blood on 16 healthy adult volunteers and gave them 100 to 400 milliliter doses. And the trial would just basically continue to expand. And the hope is for Japan to have universal synthetic blood by 2030. So that's like 5 years.
And the fake blood was developed with expired donor blood, so it's so cool that it just didn't go to waste.
No, it's true. And it looks like the US, I guess, is testing this too, but on animals. So they're freeze drying the blood in powdered form and then testing them on bunnies before the human trial starts. And the Defense Department, interestingly, is spending more than $58 million to fund this.
I seriously love this story. I can't believe any of this is possible. It's so cool.
So a breakthrough discovery shows that plants might actually be talking and that insects can understand them. So a new study from Tel Aviv University found that tomato plants under stress, like dehydration, emit ultrasonic sounds kind of like popcorn popping. And even though humans can't hear it because the pitch is so high, moths can hear and like understand them.
So in lab trials, female moths were given the choice between 2 tomato plants. They both looked and smelled the same, but one was screaming with stress sounds and one was silent. And the moths clearly preferred the quiet plant to lay their eggs.
And this is the first scientific proof that an insect responds to sound signals from a plant, although there have been other studies, which are also really cool, that have shown that plants can hear the sounds of like pollinators that are nearby and then rapidly increase the sugar concentration in their nectar to attract certain insects.
And it's actually more than just moths that can hear these sounds. So previously, scientists deduced that plants emit up to 30 to 50 of these pops when they're stressed per hour. Healthy plants, though, are almost silent with less than 1 per hour. But creatures like bats, mice, and insects all have the ability to hear this frequency.
And the researchers are calling this field plant acoustics, and they believe that the discovery is just the beginning of obviously so many possibilities. Like imagine farmers using sensors to listen to crop stress and then like water them where they need.
Next, a topic we talk about surprisingly frequently on this show compared to what you think we would, which is pirate ships. So after 250 years, Australia says they've finally located Captain Cook's legendary ship, the HMS Endeavor, and it's off the coast of Rhode Island.
Yeah, so this ship sank in 1778, so that's during the American Revolution. And after 25 years of like this detective work, they've confirmed that this is the ship.
Well, the Australians are sure this is the ship. Apparently, some U.S. researchers are unsure. They're not convinced yet.
But the Australians are citing like how the timbers and mast positions match Cook's original 1768 plans down to the millimeter. So I'm convinced. But this is pretty exciting because I know my brother did an elementary school project on Captain Cook. That's like why I know of him. So that's cool.
Oh, that's cool. I've always wondered if Captain Cook inspired Captain Hook.
Oh.
I'll ask your brother the next time I see him. And for some background, for those of us who didn't do projects on Captain Cook, he was a British explorer who mapped huge parts of the Pacific. He's basically credited with helping to redraw the map of the world.
And I guess now only 15% of the ship is left because it's being slowly eaten by shipworms, like gross. So conservation teams are racing now to protect what they can.
Now to one of our favorite topics, which is coffee. Because we now know that black coffee, as in no cream, no sugar, is officially linked to a lower risk of death from all causes.
All causes is crazy. So a new study tracked 46,000 U.S. adults for nearly a decade and found that adults that basically drank 1 to 2 cups of caffeinated black coffee had a 14% lower risk of all-cause mortality, including dying from heart disease. And adults who drank 2 to 3 cups per day saw the link rise to 17%. So like the more coffee you drink, the less likely you're going to like die.
But if you add sugar or cream or normal things, then it just wipes out all of the benefit. Like it literally, they found 0 added benefit to drinking it. But personally, I would rather just not drink it if it's going to be black.
No, black coffee is so gross, but apparently that is the only way that this works. 1 to 3 cups a day, black or lightly sweetened.
So this is great news for people who don't have taste buds.
So a breakthrough in plastic innovation is making waves in Japan. LOL, this like punny. Scientists have developed a non-toxic plastic that dissolves in seawater within 2 to 3 hours.
Yes, and when it breaks down, it doesn't leave any harmful microplastics because it's non-toxic, non-flammable, and it doesn't emit CO2. So that's really great too.
Yeah, so it basically breaks apart into nutritious compounds for ocean-borne bacteria, and the plastic itself is supposed to be as strong and as flexible as normal plastic, but this material is very vulnerable to salt. So when it's immersed in salty ocean water, the plastic literally just dissolves.
It's really cool that not only will this reduce pollution and the effect of pollution on marine life, but they made it so it actually is beneficial and it feeds ocean life.
Have you ever wondered why some parts of your body are more ticklish than others?
Or why can't you tickle yourself?
Well, scientists are trying to figure out this very important question by opening a tickle lab at a university in the Netherlands to study tickling.
Yes, it's the first lab ever of its kind, and it's aiming to standardize tickling experiments so that we can better understand what is going on in our brain when we're being tickled.
Yeah, so the researchers make participants sit in a chair with a plate that has 2 holes in it, and a mechanical stick will literally tickle their toes so that like everyone is being tickled by the same thing. And while this is happening, the neuroscientists monitor their brain activity, heart rate, and like other reactions.
I actually have such ticklish feet that getting pedicures is really painful. I almost said it's torture. But
Okay. Yeah, pedicures can be so embarrassing because of that. Like, I remember I was like very ticklish as a child, but I've slightly grown out of it. So maybe adults are less ticklish than kids. Maybe the lab will figure out why.